evening, everyone, and welcome to Everything Vaguely Paranormal. I'm Shelley Pruitt, and my partners in the paranormal, Mr. Blake Smith and Mr. Ryan Roberts. Good evening.
Good evening. I've already figured out that I fucked up already, and we just started because I didn't even put Michael into the trailer.
Oh, I was gonna say, what you
sorry.
do?
I noticed, but that's okay. We will apologize in
It's
turn.
okay. He is on the show.
Oh, leave it to us to fuck up in the first 2 minutes. It's all good.
Hey, man, it's okay.
I did a good job and actually got the intro out. Lucky me. But no, tonight we have some people that we met at Spirits in the Spring at the last Paracon when we were in Brodhead, Wisconsin, and they had such a good vibe, such a good energy, and we really enjoyed talking to them. And our guests tonight are from SPIRE Paranormal, and they had a lot of cool stories and a lot of cool pictures, and we got to chat and get to know them a little bit. We thought we've got to bring them onto the podcast so that they can share some of the stories with you guys. So I want to introduce to you guys from SPIRE Paranormal. We have Ed Levin, the founder and lead investigator of SPIRE. Then we have Krissy Kloke, who is their psychic medium. And then we have Michael Alsip, and he is the investigator tech pod, instrument acquisition and redistribution specialist, and also known as the human tripod. So there we go. I made up intro.
Can you say that again 5 times fast for me, please? Thank you.
So can we bring on SPIRE Paranormal?
Absolutely.
Hello. How are you, gentlemen and ladies, this evening?
Great.
Good to see you guys.
How you guys doing?
Hey, we're doing great.
Fantastic.
Michael, did I make up for the fact that Blake screwed up?
Oh, it's no big deal.
Well, guys, we want to know, of course, first of all, how did you guys meet and come together? And I mean, your idea, Krissy, might be way different from the guy's idea of how you met and come together. So how did you guys kind of join up and meet up?
Well, I guess I'll start. I kind of pulled this band of misfits together. Krissy is somebody I've actually known since about 2009. We used to be in a virtual world community where we did steampunk role play. And
costumes,
cool.
Yay!
Steampunk and pirate role play, and she kind of adopted me into the royal family to play the role of her big brother, and we kind of have that relationship between the two of us. Mike, actually, I worked with him when I was working during the pandemic at Abbott Labs making COVID tests, and basically most of the people on the SPIRE team are either people that I worked with or people that I knew from scouting, because I'm big into the scouting. So when I left the team that I was on and decided I wanted to form my own team, I basically set up an investigation at Brodhead and called up a bunch of people that I was interested in getting involved and seeing if they wanted to do it. And that's how we became what we are.
But the original name wasn't SPIRE, was it?
No. So, Bill likes to write down the names of the paranormal teams that come in to investigate. And because, like I said, we were just basically, I was kind of feeling some people out to see, how they would do. He's like, "What's the name of your team?" I said, "We don't have a name. We're just a group." He goes, No. What's your name of your team? I went, "We're the Spirit Hunting Investigation Team." And he looks at me and goes, "So you're shit paranormal?" Yes, we are. So, but we had to shop the name around a little bit because Krissy and one of the other members on our team are teachers. Charlene is a teacher, and they're like, "We can't wear this on a T-shirt to school." So, on our merch store, we do actually have what we call our retro stuff. This stuff is not available on our store. This was actually made by Nate and Kate at Brodhead. Great guys if you see them at a convention. But we do have shirts and sweatshirts that have the Shit Paranormal logo on it, and that is actually what we call our A team, so to speak, our number one group, and we'll basically, I'll be like, "Let's get this shit show on the road," and and go from there.
So I kind of want to double back to something you said a minute ago. You said you're big into scouting. Have you ever incorporated your paranormal investigation side into your scouting side? And is there a merit badge? Because I fucking want one.
There is not a merit badge. I'm really pissed about it. A couple of years ago, I actually, because I'm a venture crew advisor, I actually took my venture crew up to Brodhead. I've got some funny stories about that. But this coming November, and I'm not going to say the date, but I'm actually going to be hosting a large scouting group to come to Brodhead, and we're going to do a pizza party and karaoke and investigation and watch movies and costume contest.
Nice.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Now, Mike, I have a question for you because Michael. Sorry, I'm going to call you Michael. I was calling you Mike at the.
He's easy too.
Oh, he's easy too. Okay, so you are newly engaging in your abilities. Let's call it that. Newly learning how to tap into whatever it is that you do, and I think everybody on the screen does something a little bit different. What is your newfound, being the tech guy, being the skeptic guy, how are you kind of making it right in your mind with science, but then you suddenly have this ability?
Well, I think I've always had this ability, obviously, but one of the things that I can do, that I believe Ed noticed when we were at in Gurnee, that I can fill you out. I can literally size you up within 5 minutes. I can see whether you're, bullshitting me or not. You can't bullshit a bullshit artist.
Yeah, you read really well.
Okay.
Right.
Obviously, I have these my spidey senses go off, and then I start thinking about it a little bit more. I have many conversations with Krissy about this, and we're not sure what direction my ability is going. I mean, I will see a situation, and I'll have 3 scenarios play out in my head, and one of those is going to actually happen. So, yeah, it just happens.
So you get like flash imagery, and you get like 3 different situations. Is it always 3 or?
It's always 3.
It's always 3.
I'll get a premonition, 3 quick little images. It'll play out like a movie.
Okay. So when did you discover this exactly, though? Like, was there a situation where you came to realize that you had this gift?
Well, I didn't know it was a gift. I always thought somebody would probably say, "Hey, kid, you're crazy. We're going to put you away in some kind of an asylum."
Right.
But I've always had this since I was a kid. I've always felt, my grandfather passed away, and I felt him sit down next to me and talk to me. I had dreams about family members passing away days before it happened. Just premonition type dreams, and I always thought maybe I was, but I just never knew who I could talk to. And it just started getting stronger and stronger, and then Ed approached me, and it's been coming online a lot quicker. It's a little scary.
What'd you say, Ed?
Scary.
I said he's an addict.
My montage is, let's go.
Yeah. The moment I mention anything haunted, he's just like, let's go. I'm ready. Let's do it.
And then Krissy always tries to pull me back. She always wants to pull me back. Just slow down, relax, look at the situation. I always want to run into, go where angels fear to tread, I guess. But Krissy, she's the balance. She always pulls me back and gives me a good talking to.
So Krissy is y'all's Brian. Got it. Okay. Because
So
Brian
is it
is
like
our
herding
balance.
cats?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, there was one where, being a student teacher, sometimes you do have to let them learn the hard way. So we were on the 3rd floor at Brodhead, and there's occasionally some elementals, we call them usually.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hanging out up there, and I said, it's at the end of the hall. We are not going to proceed past this point. We're going to respect his space. Well, next thing I know, Mike bat out of hell right down the hall, and he comes back about 10 seconds later, pale, sweaty, shaking. He just looks at me in the eye and said, I shouldn't have gone over there. I said, I told you.
Right. You'll listen next
Told you.
time, won't you? So when did you learn that you had an ability or gift? Is this something that you've known pretty much from day one, or was it something because a lot of people say that they suddenly just kind of get it, or either that or they've had it forever. Do you fall into either of those categories?
The first incident, I couldn't have been more than 3. I think for a lot of people, that's around when it hits It's Christmas. I'm sitting on my grandmother's floor. There's a present in my lap, and I look up, and there's a man standing next to the Christmas tree. He is bathed in gold, and he's like wedged next to the tree.
And it ain't Santa.
No.
Okay.
And old man, I.
This is the first time I've heard this story.
Excuse me. And he's looking at me. He's not making any sound, but I can tell he's like smiling. He's happy to see me.
Okay.
I'm like, who the hell is this? And I look down. I look back up. He's still there. And you're 3. You are not old enough to be scared.
Mm-hmm.
And I look, and then eventually he disappears. Well, it was not until later in life that I was able to recognize him as my maternal grandfather who had passed away when I was a baby.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
That's the earliest I can remember. And Mike, I tell that story affectionately about the 3rd floor on Brodhead.
No worries.
Yeah, we tell stories affectionately too.
Wink, wink, wink.
Yeah.
She left out a little bit. She did give me a good talking to, I'll tell you that. But she was right. Just listen to me. And I should have.
Those elementals are not fun when they get cranky and temperamental.
No.
That's not absolutely
Right.
not.
So I'm kind of
go ahead, Blake.
in saying like figuring out kind of like y'all's dynamic on this. So you get into it. Let's say you get into a new location.
Mhm.
What is, because you've got Michael now who is working with his ability. You got Krissy who is your psychic medium, and then Ed, we have you as well as kind of lead investigator. What is y'all's and founder? What is y'all's dynamic? What am I trying to say? Like kind of ritual as you get into a new
How do
location.
we do it?
Yeah, like do you go in and kind of scout it? Yeah, how do you do it? How do you make the sweetness happen?
So our team was actually, we have like 10 people on our team. Okay.
Blake's stupid. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, that's fine.
Yes, tell us all about the sweetness.
So we have like 10 people on our team. And so it's of course the 3 of us, Alex Clark, we have Charlene Hall, we have Krissy's sister Kelly is actually with us. And then we have and also Charlene's dog, Hazel the Wonder Dog, sometimes comes out with us. And then we've got and of course now I'm drawing a blank on all the other names, Trisha and Bill, and who am I forgetting? I'm sorry, whoever I'm forgetting. But anyway, basically what we do is usually I'll send Krissy out with a camera person to go and explore on her own. Okay. I like to mirror a lot of the way we do things off of some of the shows that I've been watching over the years.
Okay.
The way Dave works with Krissy, not Krissy, but Cindy, and on his shows, and of course the way they work with Chip Coffey on the old PHR or PRS show and stuff like that. So I like Krissy to kind of go around and feel things out on her own and figure out what's there.
You send the chicken first. Yeah.
Right. And while she's doing that, I will usually go with whoever the homeowner or whoever it is that is bringing us into the building. I like to go walk around with them and usually Mike or one of the other investigators with my little pad of paper and get the story of what's happening and the hot spots and stuff like that. And then once all that is done, then we kind of come back together and Krissy tells me what she found out and I go through my notes and go, yep. Because she almost hits everything dead on every single time.
Right.
Yeah.
And I before Krissy ever stepped into Brodhead, I had already investigated there 2 or 3 times. Mm-hmm. So I did the research and found out like who a lot of the entities there are. So I already kind of knew, and it wasn't really that I was testing her because I knew what she could do. I just kind of wanted to see how accurate she was because she hadn't been on an investigation in a while, and she nailed every single thing. In fact, she actually described to me in detail what the principal looks like.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
So there are 2 principals though. Was it the older one or the newer one that she described?
So it's Principal Feister, the newer one.
Mm-hmm.
And we actually just found the name of the older principal.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Krissy actually found it because she got access to this database. So the older principal's name is Johann Frederick Eck, and he likes to go by the name Fred apparently, and the older one the newer one is Carl Feister, and neither one likes you to use their names.
Oh, you need to call them Mister. They like that, or
they like to be called Sir.
Oh, okay. So which one is the more stern one? Because I know there's one that like tries to keep everything in line.
They both are.
Okay.
Yeah, they both are. I try to relate to Principal Eck a little bit more because in the research that I did, I actually found out that he was also the original scoutmaster for the Brodhead Scout Troop. And then I also found out that the janitor's name is John Neuschwinder, and a couple of some of the other teachers and whatnot.
So Krissy goes in first, and then you go with the venue owner. What are you doing, Michael?
I'm just tagging along. Like I said, I'm schlepping.
Yeah,
schlepping. Yeah.
You're
sometimes
where to put cameras, right?
He's tripod.
I carry a camera and I go behind them, and I try to listen in as much as I possibly can. And then after that, we get together. Then we start setting up equipment.
Yeah. Sometimes we send Krissy with Mike. Sometimes we'll send Krissy with my daughter if she comes with us. My daughter is a senior in high school. She's 17, so she doesn't like her name to be used on camera. She doesn't want to be on camera, just because high school kids are jerks. And
right.
So we always refer to her as the mysterious Madam X.
I like that.
I do too.
So if you're ever watching, once I get done editing all the videos that we have to put on YouTube, if you're watching them and you hear us, referring to Madam X, that's my daughter.
Okay.
So is there any combination of the two of you that tend to get really good results, or if you know that there's like a chaotic entity in a building, do you have like people you pair up because you know that chaotic energies will interact, or if you have a more calm energy, or do you pair up people to go and maybe try to communicate with that one?
Oh,
do you have
can I
pairings you use?
Yeah, go ahead.
So we found that all Mike needs to do is exist. Begin picking on him. It's unclear why, but almost everywhere we go, something decides, you know what, I'm gonna beef with him. So if we want something to say something or insult you, which they love doing to Mike, I don't know why, for some God knows what reason, all Mike has to do is
smart
show
ass.
up. And those ghosts are
Not me.
Big mad. We don't know why.
Mike, I think you're my spirit animal.
Yeah, the principal at Brodhead really does not like Mike.
Really?
Yeah.
They put in, Shelly, you said something about chaotic energies, and they put in the comments, chaotic energies, says the wrecking ball.
One of the issues that we find sometimes is, I come in and for whatever reason, sometimes the spirits perceive me to be a very big presence. And sometimes I walk in and I scare them a little bit, and the kids at Brodhead love me. I mean, they absolutely love me. They call out my name all the time. But like we went into the trunk room at the Rock Island Roadhouse where you guys are. Mike and I were there. I walk into the room, and the first thing that pops out of the spirit box is, "Ooh, big man, I'm scared." But one investigation that I went on with my old team, they were actually kind of using me to kind of herd the spirit around the house because every time I would enter a room, he would leave. So I used to be on another team called 3 a.m. Extreme Paranormal, and they do things a lot the same way that we do them. They're very big into doing home investigations and helping out people who are having problems in their homes, and that's one of the things that that I'm trying to get this team really into doing. They're a great team. The only reason why I decided to split off from them is because I wanted to start using some of my own toys and stuff like that. And the Gene, the the founder and lead investigator for that team. And I'm not saying anything that he doesn't already admit to. He is a bit of a control freak. He likes to use his equipment only. He wants to have full control over the data, and that's fine. It's his team. He can run it any way he wants. But I wanted to be. I like playing with different things and experimenting with different things, and wanted to bring some of my own things to the table, and that's basically what happened.
Me too. Oh, we're talking about paranormal investigation.
And actually, Blake, just like you, Gene is actually he's a mortgage guy, but his wife is a real estate person, and that's how they find out about a lot of the the haunted homes that they go into.
I'm telling you what, it's amazing what you can find out in the area where you live whenever you are a real estate agent and a paranormal investigator at the same time. Because you're constantly digging into houses and doing research on houses anyways, and then like this random newspaper clipping pops up. It's like, so-and-so was murdered in the 1894 big day. You're like, wait, what? Hold on.
Yeah.
I was also briefly with 3 a.m. and I love this story because I never get to tell it.
Oh, tell it.
And Ned knows where I'm going. I was working with Gene, and he told me his exact words. This is verbatim. Find me the greatest source of energy in this house. And I did. And I'm in this basement. It is a labyrinth. There are twists and turns and places going everywhere. And next thing I know, I am face to face with the breaker box. So I found the source of energy in the house. He just had to be more specific about what he wanted.
Right.
That's just not what he was looking for.
Well, you said.
I beelined right for it. I found the source of power in the house.
Should have been more specific.
That's actually not the story I thought you were going to tell.
Oh.
I thought you were going to tell the story of the time you were in the basement at Big Timers.
Which time? There were a lot of times in there.
Yeah. Before you lost all the weight, the guy kept poking at you?
Oh, Fluffy, yes.
Yeah.
Fluffy, go on.
God, what? I don't even remember that one. And I know that the word Fluffy was involved. I just do not remember the full context.
From what I remember, and it's sad that I know your story better than you know your story, but from what I remember, Krissy's lost a ton of weight in recent years, and she was down in the basement investigating with them. And Big Timers used to be a speakeasy owned by Al Capone, and so there's a bunch of mobster types down in the basement, and she's down there and. She's I think she might have been with my wife. My wife was an investigator at the time. She's since retired from paranormal, but she's down there and they're investigating, and she kept getting poked. And all of a sudden, and I remember because I was helping do evidence review. All of a sudden, Krissy goes, "Do you like doughy people? What is your problem?" So you don't remember that?
No.
Yeah. Okay. But
I believe you.
Would that be the funniest moment you guys have ever had investigating while interacting with another spirit?
Oh God, no. God,
what would you say would be the one that made you laugh the hardest?
There's so many of them. Well, actually, one of the videos I gave you guys is actually one of the first times we were at Brodhead when we were still shit paranormal. And we had this guy, Alan, was doing an ST session, and he kept going like this, and we figured out that he's doing this because he had two voices in his ear.
Oh.
and we think one of them was actually the principal, and one of them was a female. And so the principal, like I said, didn't really like Mike. Mike is a mixed heritage, and so he was saying some very racially incorrect things to Mike, and I'm not going to say what it is because it's a little bit embarrassing. But then, well, actually, if you guys want to play the video that says Ellen's kinky.
Oh shit.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Do you guys like having us in this room? Woman. What about woman? Kinky. Woman is kinky? I was gonna say, it must be Ellen.
Yeah.
All right, I got your number, Ellen.
Was Ellen the one in the? Was she the one in the park looking around like?
With the flashlight sitting down, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
And I don't know if she's on watching us or not, but anybody who knows Ellen knows that her Facebook posts would well, let's just say they would make a porn star blush.
Hot dog.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
They got Ellen's number, huh?
Ellen,
she's
friend
got a
request
person.
me.
Yeah, Ellen.
so-
I need to be a part of these posts, like Ellen.
Yeah, friend
like,
request,
come on
Ellen.
now.
But
we got some interesting friends on Facebook that have strong meme games. We're looking to add more, so come
Yes.
on, Ellen.
Always.
she's got a very strong meme game. I'll make an introduction at some point. She's another one of the people that worked with us at Abbott, and actually she works with Mike at Abbott now too. And great person. I keep trying to talk her into coming back to the team, and she's like, I just got so much going on. So hopefully sometime we can bring her back. But and it's funny because Mike is actually our usual Estes guy. He's phenomenal at it. Anywhere we go, if we're going to do an Estes, Mike is the guy who we put in there. And especially at Brodhead, he's always like arguing with himself, which is funny because he'll pick up multiple voices going on.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, we were in the band room, and one of the, I believe it was a mimic. They do have a mimic in there, and that one gives me such a hard time. I mean, I hear a whole bunch of words coming out in the background. It's like being in a restaurant, and you hear a word here and a word there, and it literally right in my face. You're an asshole. So then I would turn around and I say, no, you're an asshole. And it's like, who are you talking to? And I'm like, well, I think it's the mimic. He's the guy who gives me a hard time every time I go in there. No matter what room I go into, he follows me around to give me a hard time.
And just cusses at you the whole time?
What's that?
Does he just cuss at you the whole time?
Not all the time, but sometimes he just, he calls me a word, or he calls me a terrible name, or he'll just turn around and tell a lie, just add a little word out of nowhere. So I try to ignore him, but it's kind of hard because he hears what Ed's asking. I can't hear it. So he just throws a word in there. So I'm like, I just repeat it.
Oh, so he only comes through in Estes.
Yeah.
Okay.
He comes through in Estes. The one time Krissy doesn't normally do Estes. The one time we were in the band room, she decided she was going to do Estes. It was actually, was it the Moonbow, or was it Spirits in the Spring when you did that? Do you remember?
I believe it was Spirits in the Spring.
Okay, so Spirits in the Spring. You guys were investigating on a different floor with people. And we all know that there's no, demons or anything like that at Brodhead. But she puts this thing on, and right away it starts coming through. I'm a demon. I'm going to kill Ed, or something like that. He started threatening me. So I just reached, and of course we've got all these people that are there that are doing this public investigation. I just reached over and grabbed the headphones off her head. I'm like, okay, nope, we're cutting that right now. I'm like, there's no demons here. This is one of the the jerks that are trying to mess around. And so for whatever reason, the mimic seems to like to try to get us in trouble, and it's probably because we figured out right away that it was a mimic and not what it kept saying that it was.
Yeah.
And actually, it was funny because when we were there for Spirits in the Spring, I was walking Sam, and I know I'm going to, Sam, Baltris.
Oh yeah, Baltris, yeah.
Baltris.
So I was worried I was going to totally crucify his name.
You did, but he helped you.
Yeah. So I was walking around with him, and and him and I were in there, and I was kind of explaining to him about the mimic, mimic trickster, or whatever you want to call it. And right away he went, "Oh yeah, it doesn't like you." He goes, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not really sure why." He goes, "Because you know what it is. That's why."
Oh.
So I mean, he basically confirmed it for me right then and there. So it is what it is. The kids at Brodhead, they come through all the time if we're there investigating, and they're like, Ed, help. Help. They let me know right away if there's something that shouldn't be there. I was actually we were actually the only first team to ever investigate Brodhead without Bill being in the building because he was injured, and so they trust me. I'm the crazy Uncle Ed, and they like when I'm there, and they, like I said, if I'm somewhere in the building, they'll start calling out my name, asking for me, and saying, come here, go get Ed.
How different was that investigation without Bill being in the building?
It was a lot different. Energy in the building was different. One of the reasons is because I completely forgot to get the music pumping before we started, which they like to get the energy going with the.
Yeah, they do.
But they kept coming up and just, where's Bill? They kept coming through on the. We got a couple of EVPs. We've got kept coming through on the spirit box. Where's Bill? What's going on? The janitor didn't want to deal with this at all. John didn't want to deal with this at all. He's like, nope, you're not supposed to be here. The elementals seemed like they were okay with it because they knew I am, know who I am. But after a little bit of time, this was actually the investigation where we brought Hazel out with us, and that's Charlene's chocolate lab. She's a total sweetheart. And they kept playing with Hazel and petting Hazel and stuff like that. You'd see her jumping around like something, like how dogs do when little kids are playing with them.
Right.
She's in the middle of the gym jumping around like that. There's nobody around her. It was real cute. But it took a little while for things to really ramp up. Plus, like I said, I forgot to play the music, and because I was so focused on getting everything else all set up and whatnot.
So did the janitor just shut down, or he tried to run you out of there?
No, he just wouldn't talk to us. We went back, wouldn't talk to us, and then finally, we're like, John, are you back here? Are you okay? You want to talk to us? And he just went, and finally he came through and just said, leave.
Well, he was nicer to you than it was to me. He told me to get out, bitch.
Well, that's because you're a woman. And John is John, just like the two principals, they're from that era where men are men and women should shut the fuck up.
No, I was the wrong person to be in there.
Yeah, I know.
So, Krissy, on these investigations, how do you receive your messages? And is it something that from being an investigator in a psychic medium, do you find that your abilities and your gifts sometimes overwhelm or possibly even hinder you a little bit in these scenarios, or do you think that they just absolutely help all the time?
I'd say it's a help because I've gotten to the point where I'm pretty sure I know what I'm going for and then I trust my gut.
Yeah.
Because like most mediums, whether by choice, usually it's not by choice, you've been doing it your whole life.
Right.
So you get used to it. And for me, the biggest help is Ed, and that he lets me do what I'm going to do, and he's not breathing down my neck. So he gives me the freedom to just be, where, other investigators are like, just right up in your face. He doesn't do that. He just, takes the leash off and says, run, and I do it, and it works. So.
If we're in the middle of something and she's like, I feel like I need to go over here, I'm like, yeah, go. You're good. Go.
Hey, now, at least Shelly, take note. Just take note. When she feels she needs to go somewhere, she acknowledges the rest of the group and says, hey, I need to go this way.
I don't have time for that. If I gotta go, I gotta go.
So we have one of those too. His name is Alex. We like to say,
you're gonna say Michael.
Like to say, where's Alex? Oh, Alex is off doing Alex things.
And the fact that Ed,
So
the fact that Ed listens to me when I say, Ed, we need to go over there now, and he says, okay, we'll go over there.
Yeah.
And the fact that he can see the look in my eye, I'm like, it's over there. It's over there.
Right.
Now.
and she's actually given herself a self-imposed nickname, which we kind of told you guys in the pre-show. Krissy likes to refer to herself as my prized truffle pig. Because especially like when we're doing the public investigations, because you've got a short amount of time. They're rotating people through stuff like that. I don't want to sit there and waste anybody's time, so she'll sit there and go, bring them over here, have them sit in here, talk to this person over here, and that way we get a lot of hits right away. Now, the flip side of that is we'll get into something and we're trying to do spirit box or try to interact with the K2 or the flashlights or the the V-Pod or whatever, and they're basically talking through her. Something's going on in the comments. I can tell by the way Blake looks. But they'll be talking to her, and I'll just go, Krissy, leave. And that's all I gotta say. She doesn't get upset or anything. She's like, no problem. She walks out of the room. And sometimes you've got to be comfortable with. I believe as a team that has a medium, you have to be comfortable with having that give and take, and knowing that it's not anything you did wrong, or it's not anything that anything against you. It's just having you repeat what the ghost is telling you isn't documentation. We can't say that is absolute proof.
Mm-hmm.
And we use, we'll put different, I'm sure you guys do it too. We put out different types of things. We use the dowsing rods, we use the mag lights, we use, the cat balls, we use all that different stuff and try to get them to communicate with us. And of course, the one thing that we could do a little bit better, and we're working on it, keep in mind, we are still a very new team, is when we do try to do the EVP sessions with the voice recorders.
I don't know how to work those.
Yeah. I think I need to get it's the voice recorder's fault, and I think I need to get a new one.
Yes, it is the voice recorder's fault.
So self-imposed nickname of prize truffle pig. Is that what you said? Okay, well, they just gave Shelly hers for us. That's Fireball Whore. So that's
Okay.
There you go.
Sorry, that's
how about the horror part. I just have to earn that with
that's why the mic went mute and Blake was dying over here for just a second. So I actually have a question that I think is great from the comments that I want to ask y'all, and whoever wants to pick this one up can run with it. Somebody has actually asked, what is a mimic? Now, we know on the screen what a mimic is and a definition of that, but from y'all's perspective, what y'all have run into, what would you define a mimic as?
Typically a mimic is a non-human entity, or we just call it a NHE is for short. Usually it's something that is a bit of a trickster, a jokester, tries to pose as something else. It will mimic voices. They've actually got a recording, not from us, but from another group at Brodhead of Bill's laugh and Bill's voice when Bill was not anywhere near there. My voice has come through a couple times when I was actually in the room and you could see that I wasn't talking. But then they'll also come through and pretend to be, one of the kids, or whatnot. So, I mean, it's usually something that either mimics something else that's there, either one of the other ghosts or one of the people that's there, or it might come through, as something else completely.
So in y'all's opinion, because I know a lot of people kind of believe, that to mimic something, whether past or living, and kind of reiterate that voice or that sound or whatever, that it takes something pretty powerful and or possibly negative. Where do y'all think that they lie on the spectrum, I guess, of, I don't know, put it in layman's term, good and evil. Let's make it that easy. Where would you put them on that spectrum?
Well, this one particular one, I would definitely... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I put it on the annoying.
Annoying, yeah, I would agree.
I believe
definitely annoying.
I believe that the mimic at Brodhead is a negative energy, negative entity. I believe it came in with somebody, that it's not something that was there previously. And that'll happen sometimes at some of these places. Somebody will come in with something. Somebody will come in with something, and it's especially someplace like Brodhead that's got that great energy, and they decide to stay. I mentioned Alex on our team. He actually had a ghost cat at his house. They would actually see like the cat toy, because they've got a bunch of other live cats, and they'd actually see the live cats playing with, like, it's playing with another cat, and there's nothing there. Their daughter would say, "Come here, kitty," and then all of a sudden you'd see an indentation on the blanket where the ghost cat was laying. Yeah, they trained the ghost cat, and so they went to. Alex brought his wife and his kids to the Moonbow Expo at Brodhead, and after they left, Ghost Cat was gone. Well, now all of a sudden, there's a ghost cat at Brodhead.
Oh, I have to find this next time I come. I'm a total cat guy, so
Yeah, Ryan's all about chasing pussy, but
yes,
whatever.
all the time.
So
Yeah, so it's one of those things that for whatever reason, the ghost cat decided to take the trip with them to Brodhead and was like, "All right, this place is cool. We're going to hang out here."
Hang out with all the kids.
Yeah.
So,
The Brodhead mimic, it's over me as much as I'm over it. So it likes to hang out in that staircase by the music room. If I'm going up there, it tries to loom over me. I'm just like, "Move, bitch." Because it knows that I know. So it'll try. It doesn't stop trying, but I'm still like, "I'm over you. Move."
Yeah. And it's a bully. It does like to bully other ghosts.
Michael, does it bully you too?
It tries to.
Yeah.
It tries to. We were in there, and I was one of the first ST sessions I did. We were talking with Mr. Scott, one of the teachers, and that was one of the first times I started to hear two different voices coming through. And Mr. Scott was an older individual, and then there was this younger individual, and I called him a bully, and he was literally bullying Mr. Scott. And he just would not stop. "You're not going anywhere. Don't listen to him." And just giving him a hard time. So, I mean, I look at him now as he's just a bully. So that's the same voice that he comes and he talks to me like a young kid trying to bully me. Well, it's not going to work, kid. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and you are normally, like, I believe you guys said that Michael, that you're the ones that usually goes under Estes. Has there been a moment in an Estes session that you have, let's see if I phrase it right, lost control, where you are not really, it's not you talking, it's you actually get to a point where you're actually channeling? Do you go that deep into it?
No, that hasn't happened to me yet. I have witnessed it through a couple of different people. I won't mention their names, but yes, I won't mention Krissy's name. But that's what I get a little nervous with that, because I'm afraid I will be taken over, and next thing you know, I'm spewing stuff that I have no idea what I'm saying. And luckily, I have these guys around me that will definitely pull me out, but it hasn't happened yet. So
have you? This just the question I have is have you ever gotten close? Because I used to say, "Oh no, I've never gotten jumped." And it's funny because right until it happens, you think you're in control, and then all of a sudden you're not. Have you gotten right on that edge where you're kind of like, this is not in your head? You're going, this is not going the way I think it should be going.
No, I haven't gotten to that particular point yet. We have a time limit. We have a 10-minute time limit. So I think they tapped me out at that 10 minutes, but it does take a lot. It takes a lot out of me. I mean, I'm kind of worn out after it.
Yeah, I watch the clock like a hawk whenever he goes in. The reason why I was pointing at Krissy is that time that the mimic started coming through in the band room with her, it was trying real hard to take her over. And after we got done, she kind of pulled me aside, and because she didn't want, she's like, I didn't want anybody to think that I was faking. And it basically, what Krissy told me is she could hear everything that I was saying. Not because she could hear me through her own ears, but because
the spirit was listening.
She was tapped in to whatever.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's a bell.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there's a bell, you said?
Clear as a bell.
Clear as a bell.
Clear as a bell. I was like,
there was
okay.
no bell at
Sorry.
the time.
Yeah.
That's not where there's a bell.
It's like, ding, round 2. Let's go.
Yeah.
Well, so how do you guys? What do you guys do to protect yourselves and make sure that doesn't happen to you when you walk into a new location?
Well, we have a time limit for one thing.
Mhm.
And I think you really have to tell yourself you have, you're still going to be in control, and you're just going to repeat the words. Now, the last couple sessions that I've been in, I've been hearing words pop into my head that I should say, but I've been kind of holding back because I'm not sure if it's my thoughts or if it's their thoughts.
Yeah.
But I think what I need to do is just have more acceptance as to what's being told to me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but for the most part, having these guys and putting yourself on a time limit, it's more relaxing. So I don't.
What? Sorry. So one of the things that I'm not a psychic or a medium or anything like that, but one of the things that I guess I do, and I've only met like one or two other people that ever seem to have this ability, is, well, for one thing, I'm highly affected by EMF. I'm very sensitive to EMF. If I walk into a location and there's EMF, it's like somebody's digging their thumbs in the back of my neck, and I'm kind of like, type thing. But I seem to have the ability to be able to not only project but also absorb energy really, really quickly. So sometimes when we're doing an SD session or something like that, you'll actually see me walking in a circle around the room. And what I'm doing is I'm filling the room full of energy. But one of the things that I can do is I can actually, for lack of a better term, suck the energy out of a room. And so, and there's been a few times where, things have started to get a little bit heated or a little bit crazy. And I was basically went, "You're done," and cleared out all the energy, took away what they were able to do.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time that I was actually walking through a cemetery in New Orleans with another psychic that I know, and we happened to walk across a mass grave from when they had the plagues in New Orleans back in the 1800s or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden she just stopped where she was, and she felt like it was like hands coming up out of the ground trying to drag her back down.
Oh hell.
And she just would get me out of here. And I basically got a hold of her, put a bubble up around the two of us, and just walked her out, because for whatever reason I seem to have that ability to be able to do that type of thing.
Wow.
Everybody, I always crack up when people, tell me about the stories when they're sleeping in a haunted location about how things are poking them and, messing with them in the middle of the night. And I'm like, yeah, they don't bother me, because when I go to sleep, I put a bubble around myself and they can't get past that.
Well, you're gonna have to teach Blake how to do that for when we go to old parks. You don't get messed with in his sleep.
Yeah.
Maybe I like getting my ass grabbed in my sleep, Ryan. Leave me alone.
I mean, hey, you do you, boo boo.
But have you ever experienced the full stanza?
He said the full what?
The full stanza.
Oh.
You guys remember in the Ghostbusters movie when Ray is in the bed and he's got the ghost hovering above him, and the zipper unzips, and when you have sex with a ghost, that's the full stanza.
Yeah, I'm not doing
I ain't going down that route. I mean, listen, I just had full ass cuppage at Old Park one time, and I woke up and I was like, "Hey, that's nice." I mean, that felt kind of good. Whatever. I'm gonna go back to sleep now. Leave me alone.
Maybe they heard you singing, Blake. I mean,
I've had my legs rubbed in the middle of the night there. I have had my inner groin thigh area grabbed at another brothel one time. That was interesting.
Actually, funny story about a brothel. Wasn't while we were on a paranormal investigation. I was actually on vacation with my wife, and we were out in the Sedona area in Arizona, and we went on a ghost walk through an area, and they brought us up into this old brothel, and my wife started getting felt up, and she thought it was me. but I was on the other side of the room. So she's like looking around and she's like, oh my God. And then all of a sudden, this other girl that was with us, that she was dressed in one of those Lolita outfits, all of a sudden she goes like this, and she's like, something just unsnapped my bra. And this girl was pretty well endowed. So she had to excuse herself to go have somebody help her get herself back together. But yeah, whatever was in this brothel was moving around and having his fun with all the ladies in the room.
I'm like, hey, listen, as they were in life, they're going to be in death. If they were very
Right.
handsy in life, they're going to be handsy in death. Just ask Shelly where she got her hoo-ha belt up at Old Park. So
Right up the back of the dress, the skirt came up, and I came out of that corner.
And Shelly, how many times have you gone back there?
A lot.
It's the first place she goes when we get there.
That's
Hey,
right. I
I'm
walk right
home.
back in there. I'm like, hi, and I walk in there.
And-
Hi, honey, I'm home.
Yeah. So, but
I mean, you say, as they did in life, so they do in death, and people find out I can do what I do. The first thing they ask is, do my dead relatives watch me in the shower? I said, did they watch you in the shower when they were alive? The answer is no. Then they're probably
Well,
not doing it now.
yeah.
Let's
Why did
hope
you have a
not.
creepy Uncle Larry or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen,
The
I'm
ghosts aren't going to sit there and watch you go to the bathroom. They're not going to,
Look, I'm not going to do any of that creepy shit. No. Whenever I pass on the other side, no, family's off limits. No, we don't play that game. Mm-mm.
But he's
Right.
probably going to air
but I
something
have
about me.
I've got a list of people I peep on. Don't worry.
Mhm.
You just got to figure out who the hell you are. That's the
One of the interesting things that we found out about Mike too, just to kind of change the subject a little bit, because I wanted to get to something that I know we gave you guys. We know that Mike has kind of an entourage that follows him around when he
A
goes
spiritual
places.
entourage?
Okay.
Yeah. His dad actually is one of the spirits that follows him around.
Oh.
And he's got one of his neighbor ladies, his ghost stalker, and an aunt or something like that. So, I gave you guys 3 pictures.
Yes.
So
And-
Mike's is thinking, I can't wait till that neighbor dies, and here she comes, just following him around now.
But so basically, what happened is we were at the Rock Island Roadhouse. Jenny Davis, good friend Jenny Davis, you guys know her.
Mhm.
She called us up and was like, "Hey, you guys want to come out and investigate with us?" So it was Jenny and her mom and Derek from Eternal Paranormal was there, and Josh and Carrie and Allie and I think a couple of others, another Michael, and Derek's taking pictures, and he takes 3 pictures of Mike. And he's looking back through them, and all of a sudden he's like, oh my God, there's somebody behind you. Who's behind you? And I look at it, I'm like, it looks like he's sticking his tongue in your ear. And Mike comes over, he looks at the picture, and he goes, sheet white, and he goes, that's my dad.
Whoa.
And so, y'all gave us this picture. This is the first one you sent,
Mm-hmm.
which is just a very kind of, generic, just regular picture. And then you sent the second one where Mike has moved. So this is kind of just showing the procession of the pictures.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the third one, this is the third one that y'all sent. That this is where it was captured.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Mike's dad was a military man. What service was he in?
Air Force.
Yeah. So, he always had the military haircut, glasses.
Right.
I still think it looks like he's sticking his tongue in his ear, but
I see him over there.
Weird,
That
but
is,
no, I'm sure he's not.
yeah.
he might be just whispering in his ear, hey, who are
But
these
yeah,
assholes?
that picture is courtesy of Derek.
Wow.
Garbage.
Wow, I
Yeah.
can
That's
see him. Yeah.
interesting. Wow, yeah. I mean, it looks like
Wow.
there's right behind him.
Looks like Drew Carey's hanging out back there.
kind of. So, but yeah, so I love when stuff like that happens because it's
Right.
totally unexpected, and it really kind of, I guess, solidifies what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why I got into this in the first place, I grew up in a haunted house as a kid. We had a house when we were my wife and I had a house when we were first married that was haunted. We had 2 entities there. One of the entities actually injured my son.
Whoa.
Pushed
How'd that
me
happen?
through. So we had two ghosts. One we refer to as the nanny ghost. It was a female that was always like in the house, and she would set off the kids' toys to let us know that the kids were getting it. We didn't have our daughter at that time. It was the two boys. So if one of the kids was crawling out of a crib or had their arms stuck in somewhere, or, you know, they were fighting or whatever, she'd start setting off toys. So we'd come and check on them. And we had another ghost that was out in the garage and backyard area, and male ghost. He was kind of a dick. He would hide my tools. And I'm not saying that because I was misplacing my tools all the time. I mean, he stuck a 10mm socket in the glove box of a 63 Pontiac. I would never do that. Okay. But for whatever reason, So for whatever reason, this male ghost decided that he decided to come into the house, and he went up to the boys' room, and we don't know why. But basically, my wife and I were, I think we were down in the kitchen doing dishes or something like that. And all of a sudden, everything that could make a noise started going off like crazy in the kids' room. So we're like, the two of us, we look at each other like, oh shit, we go running up the top of the stairs. I get to the top of the stairs, and just as I get to the top of the stairs, I hear my middle kid, Evan, let out this blood curdling scream. And I go to run into the room, and I literally got pushed back into the room opposite of, because it's this little narrow hallway, and it got pushed back. And you know, I'm not a small guy by any means, and we got into the room, and Evan had this big gash on his face.
Whoa!
It's healed, and it actually, when he smiles, it looks like a dimple, and all the girls think it's cute. But that was because he got gashed by this ghost.
Wow!
And that was one of the things that really made me want to get involved in the paranormal, because I want to help people. I want to help, you know, families that are having difficulty in their homes. I want to help the ghosts understand what's happening with them, and if we can help them move on, or, you know, help the people understand why they're there, if you know, see if we can help them live at peace or whatever. And you know, I have so many people all the time coming to me going, I don't know who I can tell about this, because if I tell other people about this, it's crazy. You know, our team hasn't really gone to a lot of the big paranormal hotspots that, you know, a lot of the other teams are going. We're going to start going to more, but one of the things and that's for two reasons. One is because everybody on the team, except for Krissy and I, had never investigated before I brought them on this team. So I didn't want to bring anybody who was inexperienced to some place like Brodhead Manor or something where there could be something really, you know, evil there that might, you know, mess them up. But the other reason is because I love going into a place where nobody else has ever been before, and figuring out what's going on and what's there. Couple of the clips I gave you guys from the Berlin house, that was a house up in Wisconsin somebody invited us up to. Nobody else had ever investigated it before. We investigated the Antioch Freemason Lodge. Nobody had ever investigated that before. A lot of places that we've investigated or gone to, nobody's been there before. We've got a couple of opportunities coming up. I'm going to try to book one for next summer out in St. Louis. It's a rather large location, so I'm thinking there's a certain team in Texas that might want to come down and join us for that one. And one of the other locations, the contact that got us into the Freemason Lodge in Antioch said that he thinks he might be able to get us into a hot spot actually in Rock Island that nobody else has investigated before.
Oh, that's awesome.
That sounds awesome. Hey, Mike, you and I, we'll go run off together. We'll go stir this shit up.
Let's go.
I'm in.
Let's go, Shelly.
I'm in.
So.
You know.
I'm gonna run off with Krissy, because I feel like, I don't know, there's just something about Krissy's energy that I just feel like her and I in a little area somewhere.
I say that's like me and Ed. We got it. Send the two big burly dudes out. We'll show everybody it.
Beer power.
We'll go stir them up for you.
But you know, and it's great when we go into a place that's never been investigated, and Krissy will be sitting there going, they're trying to figure us out. They're trying to figure out why we're here. They're trying to figure out why we're talking to them. Nobody's ever come in and talked to them before. That happened at Antioch, and actually at the Berlin house.
Oh, wow.
I think I love that you touched on the fact that, like, y'all go in to help the spirits as well. A lot of people think that, you know, I mean, it's just the people that need help with the paranormal, and that's not necessarily the case. I have a firm belief that just as we grieve on this side, they have to grieve even transition on that side as well.
Mhm.
And so I think that they don't understand a lot of it. And so I love that that is one thing you really pointed out.
Right.
It's not always about the people that you have to help. It's also about the spirits that are in these locations that need help too.
Right.
So I wanted to reiterate that. I think that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a spirit that is in a house or a location because it's a place that they loved and they want to be there, and the people that live, that own the property or whatever, okay with them being there, you got to kind of communicate and be like, look, they just want you to know that they're here, that they love this place, that they're okay with you being here, and they just want you to just say hi to them every once in a while, or just acknowledge that they're there. Sometimes it goes the other way. The Berlin house, we had a rather grumpy gentleman there that the whole night he kept saying screw you to us. Actually, I've got one of the video I gave you guys is a spirit box session with him, and you can actually hear him. If you want to play it, you can actually hear him. First he says fuck you, and then he says screw you.
Like he's trying to find the words.
Yeah. And I didn't have a chance to put the
screw
captions
you.
in there, but if you want to play it, it's I mean, you can hear it pretty clear.
Okay, hold on. Here we go.
So it's not okay? Am I just hearing no?
Why?
Oh, why? Because we want to know about you. We want to learn about you. I'm sure you're curious as to why there's so many new people in your house tonight. And that's because we're curious about you. Did you do a lot of work in the garage? On the workbench in the garage?
Wow.
Yeah. Did you
I don't
did you
get.
hear that?
I don't think I heard the fuck you, but I heard the screw.
It was
I heard
right at the beginning.
Yeah, the fuck you was very. That's the one
okay,
that stuck
okay.
out to me. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
see,
I could really hear
I
that
heard the emphatic screw you. I
Yeah.
heard that one.
And
that
he
was
kept
the
saying
one I
that
heard.
Right.
all night long. It was interesting because when we first came into the house, seemed like he was kind of curious why we were there. He was actually being very, very cooperative.
Mhm.
And then we tried to convey the fact that, the current homeowner brought us in and they were actually selling the house. One of the reasons why they were selling the house is because they were moving into her father's home because the father passed away. But another reason is because this entity obviously didn't like her and kept throwing her stuff off the shelves in her art studio and stuff like that. So as soon as we brought her up and tried to communicate with him about her, that's when he started getting belligerent with us. One of the other videos is from that investigation I gave you guys is the one that's titled Double Confirmation. And what happened there is we were in the kitchen and we were talking and we had a guest investigator with us named Jim, and he was using the dowsing rods, and we had a mag light set up, and we actually got confirmation with the light turning on and the dowsing rods crossing and separating at the same time.
Wow.
Okay, let me play this. Let's see what this is like.
That's straightforward. Okay. So I'm getting that you understand the instructions that I just gave you. Cross them for yes. Separate them for no. Yes, and you can turn on the flashlight too if you want. If you want, go ahead and try and turn it back off again. Okay. Can you uncross? Go ahead, turn that off. Okay, thank you. Can you uncross the rods? There you go. Now my friend Mike is also holding a camera that hopefully can see you, but we're also
Crossing them.
Wow.
I
So-
can't ever get dowsing rods to work for me ever.
Me
I'm
neither.
just gonna throw that out there. So I get so jealous.
They want a helicopter on me all the time. So
Nope. They'll just point straight out. Just that's it. They
They'll
don't do
hit
anything for
me,
me.
so
Yeah. Bill at Brodhead is amazing with them. He really is. And so it's cool when you get double confirmation, a couple things happening at once like that. So that's pretty awesome. And then so it's interesting when you got that type of thing going on. When we went to the Antioch Freemason Lodge, they told us that they thought that they had one ghost. We went in there and how many did they have, Krissy?
I don't know. I was unable to get a head count.
wow. So
more
it's
than
full.
10.
Or I'd say around there.
Yeah. So
Wow.
Like
there
that.
was the men, you would expect at a Freemason Lodge. They
Right.
were upstairs, but then there were actually a lot of women down in the social room.
The one that kept bossing you around. I liked her. She was cool.
Yeah, she called me bossy. We are actually going to do. I've got to talk to Colonel Paul and schedule it. But we're actually going to do a SPIRE Christmas party and show and tell there. Because one of the things that came through during our investigations is that the women were really upset that they didn't have all the great parties that they used to have.
No.
Oh,
So
they
I
want
thought-
to have a party.
Yeah.
Well, then throw them a party.
That's
Yeah.
that's what we're gonna do.
I love it.
We're gonna
That's
give those
it.
ladies a party.
People are all scared of ghosts, but they're just people who don't have bodies and they still have
Yeah.
desires that people had and still have, and they want to have fun too. Go have fun with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are.
Absolutely.
So a quick question, you were talking about how you guys investigate places that no one else has investigated.
Mhm.
Do you have a hard time acquiring these locations? Because down here in the Bible Belt, there's a lot of people like, we don't want that around here, so I know you guys are up in the Midwest.
That's
Is it
not
a
how
lot?
sound.
And that is a great question. And we, like I said, we are a fairly new, new team. I am not a real estate guy or a mortgage broker, so I don't really have access to those type of people sometimes. But I do advertise it out on Facebook. We actually have a business card that says, "Got ghosts? Call us. We'll help." And actually, we have it on the back of our T-shirts too. But a lot of times, I'll get people that they'll call me up and they'll talk to me and they're like, "Yeah, I've got stuff going on," and then and I want you to come. I think I might want you to come out, talk to my, see my house, and a lot of times you've got. Oh, my hair just went crazy. That's right, weird. All of a sudden. And it'll be like the wife is really into it or wants us to come and check it out, but the husband doesn't believe in it.
Right.
So the husband won't sign off on it or vice versa. Or sometimes, and this happens a lot of times too. And I do a lot of consulting with people, and actually I do a lot of consulting with other teams as well. Larry every once in a while will send me a picture and be like, "Hey, take a look at this. Tell me what you see." I've got a friend, Brian Kramer, out in Miami, Florida. He'll send me stuff all the time. We're actually going to be investigating. He runs paranormaladventures.us on group on Facebook, and he books different investigations all the time. He's actually got a couple spots to fill for the Mace Stringer House in Florida coming up in December. We're going to be doing Waverly Hills with him in April.
Oh,
And-
nice.
Love it. You're gonna love it.
So he sends us stuff all the time. But a lot of times what will happen is I'll get people, they'll call me up and they'll be like, "This is what I'm experiencing in my house." And I'll be like, "Okay, well, have you tried talking to it?" And they'll be like, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, you got to own your home. Walk into your home. This is my house. I don't like you scaring me. I'm okay with you being here, or give me some indication or whatever, but don't sneak up and scare me before I've had my morning coffee or whatever." and I've had people that I've talked to where I'm like, I'll reach back out to them and be like, "All right, do you want to set up a vetting?" And they'll be like, "I had a conversation. We're good." Okay.
Sweet.
As long as you're happy, that's what I care about. When we go approach somebody's home, before we do a full-on investigation, we normally do what we call a vetting, which is, we go in there. Usually it's Krissy, or if Krissy's not available, we'll get another another medium that might help us out, and myself and Mike or Alex or whatever, and Krissy will walk around with another investigator with the K2 meter and get a baseline and see if she picks up on anything like that, while I sit down with a voice recorder and interview the homeowner and get an idea of what's going on. But then we'll also, if they're telling us cabinets are opening or doors are opening, we'll sit there and go, well, I've got a little level, and I'll check and see, is the floor slanted, are the cabinets droopy, or the, is the counter off kilter? We'll bring
You're
a little.
looking to debunk, right?
Yeah, we
Yep.
do. I'm as
Right.
much a skeptic as I am a believer.
Same. Right.
And
Mhm.
I want to disprove as much as I prove. Now, when I go into some place like the Rock Island Roadhouse or Brodhead Manor, I already know that it's full of stuff. And I mean, Brodhead never disappoints. It's not if something is going to happen, it's what's going to happen this time.
Mhm.
But when I go into a place that's never been investigated before, the first thing I want to do is try and get a lay of the land and figure out, what's going on. And that's one of the reasons too why I let Krissy go wandering off on her own, because if she comes back and go, there's nothing here, or sometimes she'll say the only thing here is residual,
Mhm.
or something like that. And
And if Michael doesn't get called an asshole, you're in the clear, right?
right. Right.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah.
So did we show all your evidence already that you had sent us?
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's one more left. So this is
the streaker.
the streaker. So
That's the one I'm waiting to see.
so this is the band room at Brodhead. We
Okay.
had one of our static cameras in there. And about 4 seconds in, you will see a blur move through the room.
Okay, let me play it. Let's see. It's a short one, so if we need to play it twice, we can.
Yeah.
Play one more time.
I'm gonna play it one
Where
more time.
am I looking at?
You go look, watch the chalkboard.
Okay.
Watch the chalkboard. Okay.
Did
Did you
it
see
go
it that
early
time?
from the chalkboard to the window?
Yeah, so it's right. If you really see it kind of in the bottom left corner of the chalkboard,
Okay.
you'll see like almost
white
like
light.
a ball.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not a full body thing. It's like a ball.
All right. One more time, Blake.
Yeah.
Right there.
Oh, okay. I see it. There it goes.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And that was just your static cam. You just had it up there and left it.
Yeah.
and-
We have a bunch of Wise cameras. Actually, it was Brian out of Florida that said, hey, because I was talking to him about wanting to get a bunch of static cameras. He's like, I use these Wise cameras. They're great. You can get a 4-pack for like $80 when they're on sale. And they'll just sit there and run and record. And we run them off of just, a battery pack. And or you can plug it into an outlet. One of the things that I want to try to get set up for it too is if I can set up a Wi-Fi signal that they can connect to, then we can actually monitor it from an iPad.
Do they film in infrared as well, other than
Yeah.
just? Okay, cool, awesome,
Yeah,
awesome.
they're full
On my
infrared,
Christmas list.
motion detection. Mike actually bought another one that actually will track if something's moving through the room.
Oh,
it'll actually
cool.
track it.
What's that called, Michael?
It's just you talk about catching me off guard. It's another Wise camera, but it'll track. You have to go look it up. Go to the website.
Yeah, I think
What's
it's
the link,
like
please?
version 3 or something. V3.
Yeah, I think it's the Wise 3 camera. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Taking notes.
Show us
You
Bill
can-
Christmas
you
is
can-
over there.
If you have an app, you can run, I think, up to 16 of them off the app.
Holy crap, that's pretty cool.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But in order to set them up, you have to have an active internet connection. And then once you have the internet, once they're set up, you can disconnect the internet from them and then just have them run off of a access point or something like that, and that's connected to the thing. So that was the issue that we were having at
Right.
Brodhead, is because there's no internet connection
Right.
there. So we weren't ever able to get that perfectly set up.
You couldn't use your hotspot or anything like that in there, because I know it kind of sits a little bit lower.
Yeah, I didn't have a hotspot at the time.
Okay.
That was, and my phone wouldn't connect to the Wi-Fi router that we were using.
Mm,
The
okay.
walls were just way too thick to get a signal through.
Yeah.
Way
Yeah.
too thick.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. Well, I tell you what, we are keeping y'all about the time we said that we would keep you, but
Oh,
I
you're
want to give you
fine.
guys an opportunity
fine.
to tell everybody where they can go and find you, follow you, and if there's any place they can go and see you if you have any events coming up. So why don't y'all tell us where they can find you guys?
So we do have a website, ghostlyspire.com.
One more time.
Ghostlyspire.com. We also have our Facebook page. We do have an Instagram, although I don't go on Instagram that much. I'm mostly a Facebook guy. We do have a YouTube. We've only got 2 videos on there right now because I'm working on it. But I'm awful at video
What's
editing.
the YouTube page?
I believe it is also the Ghostly Spire or Spire team. But if you if you go to our website, we've got all the links there. We also have a milkshake page with a QR code that's on our business cards, and I'll post the QR code on our Facebook. And actually, I think on the thing that I gave you guys for our promo has the QR code on there. That's our Spire links, which is our milkshake page, and that's got all of our different links on it. The big thing that we have coming up is the weekend of the 25th and 26th of October. I'm sure you guys have heard about the seance at the Roth House with the amazing Diet and Neil Gibbons and Larry Eisler. We are going to be part of that crew. Mike and I are actually going to be down in the basement of the museum, which is the old town hall and jail. The basement is where the jail cells are. Nobody's ever investigated again before, so it is right in our wheelhouse, what we love to do. So Mike and I are going to be down there with the spirit boxes, and they're going to be bringing people down, and we're going to do spirit box sessions and SDs. And of course, we'll be doing that from 1 to 7. And then after that's over, then we'll go and join up with everybody else at the Roth House for the seance and get involved with that. We're going to be out there for that. Nat and Elliot from ACG are going to be doing the tours through the Roth House. And there's another fella, and I apologize, I can't remember what his name is because I don't know him. Actually, one of the spirit boxes we're going to be using down in the basement is, I call it the Elliot box. It's a spirit box that Elliot made for me out of a vintage 1940s radio.
Oh, cool.
Oh, that's going to be so cool.
So we're gonna be using that one, and then obviously we anytime there's anything going on at Brodhead, we're usually one of the teams that are helping lead the public investigations. We'll be there for spirits and the paranormal. We'll be there for the rock down, all that type of stuff. From time to time, we'll do a learn to investigate class at Brodhead. I'll have to talk to Bill. I think I definitely want to schedule a couple of those for the coming year because people keep asking me to do it, and I love. I approach the paranormal the same way that I approach scouting, and try to teach people the same way I teach them with scouting, and about respect and all that type of stuff. And I love doing it. And I've actually had other teams send me people that are interested in joining their teams to learn how to investigate from us.
I think that's fabulous. Make sure that you keep us posted on that, and we will definitely share out that link whenever you guys get that scheduled. Well, and so with that, Blake, why don't you tell them everything they need to know for us?
Sure.
Oh, they're getting comments. I'm sure.
The comments are going great right now.
Oh God, I'm going to go back through the comments
later.
Hilarious. Yeah. Anyways, y'all don't forget After Dark with EVP season 1 and 2 are streaming now on Perflix Paranormal Plus. Season 3 is dropping October 24th, 2024. So don't miss all the evidence that we will have. Never before seen footage and exclusive interviews with all these paranormal insiders that we have, or that we have interviewed over the years. Sorry, a little tongue-tied, still thinking of the comments. You can watch Paraflix on Amazon Fire, Roku TV, Apple TV, iOS, and Google Play. Want to make sure you use the link in our show notes for you audio listeners, or that will be on our Facebook post this Wednesday, tomorrow morning. to sign up on and enter After Dark 25 for 25% off your annual subscription. That link is also going to include our Patreon page. Our Patreon is the fastest and easiest way to directly support the show. For just $5 a month, you are going to unlock over 400 and growing every week Patreon exclusive videos, which is content you won't see anywhere else. It's the pre and post broadcast, which is the 30 minutes before and the 30 minutes after this live broadcast, where we just, y'all know us, we act stupid. Let's just,
We're sorry.
Your support goes directly to help us keep bringing you those ghostly adventures week after week. And best of all, that price is never going to change. You're also going to get never before seen investigation footage. I wish I could say this like I haven't said it, 500 times before, but that's all right. And don't forget, we do offer that 7-day free trial, so you can check it out before you purchase. So I don't think we have anything. No more in-person events except for public investigation. Tickets are on sale for the Gray County Historical Museum on October the 19th. So make sure you check that out. We will also be giving haunted walking tours prior to that of downtown Longview. So join us for that as well. Make sure you follow us on all the social media channels. Just search everything Vaguely Paranormal. Look for that green sound wave across all channels. And to you audio listeners, remember you can catch us live every Tuesday at 8 p.m. on Facebook and YouTube. We want to thank you for all of your support, especially every like, comment, share, and download. That helps keep the spooky going. So make sure you tell a friend about us as well. Remember, if you have any stories or questions, they'll can be sent to us at the evppod@gmail.com. That's THEEVPPOD@gmail.com. Hey, I got to switch it up every now and then, okay?
And go like, share, and subscribe.
So do you have one of your karaoke videos on that Patreon page?
Shut up, Ed. Shut up.
Larry promised that I would bring it up. And dude, we did karaoke at Brodhead. You can sing, dude.
Yeah.
More on that later.
You and I need to put out like a paranormal karaoke album or something and get Derek involved.
Oh my God. So we want to thank you guys before we get committed to something that we're not ever going to follow through on. We want to thank you guys for joining us tonight on Everything Vaguely Paranormal. We want to thank our special guest from SPIRE Paranormal, Ed Levin, founder and lead investigator, Krissy Kloke.
Close.
I was trying to read too fast. Kloke, this is their psychic medium, and Michael Alsop, investigator, tech guy, instrument acquisition, and
oh God, Shelley,
and the human tripod. We want to thank you guys for joining us. You can go and find them on ghostlyfire.com, on their YouTube page, or on their Facebook page, and you can see them at the Roth House Seance on October 25th, 26th. So thank you guys for joining us this evening. I'm Shelley Pruitt. My partners in the paranormal, Mr. Blake Smith, Mr. Ryan Roberts, and as always, we will see you next Tuesday. Bye, you guys.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Thank you for having us.
Thank
Thanks.
you.